Warning, we are not trained or licensed professionals. Do not take any advice that we give as official doctoral prescribed medical treatment. We only use the name as a means to appreciate cinema as a therapeutic device, not to be confused with drugs, antidepressants, or any other forms of enhancements that you might find in legal states. Please enjoy responsibly.
Additional disclaimer. If the film says we can say it too. So check the film rating, and that will be our episode rating.
Hey, I thought of something funnier than 24.
What?
25. Okay, that was the dumbest opening to an episode ever.
It's amazing.
So basically, Sleepwalkers. I'm like, it's dumb. You're like, it's amazing. Cop kebab.
Cop kebab.
That's like, seriously, why don't more movies have dialogue like that? I don't get it. Anyway, we're not talking about Sleepwalkers today. We're talking about The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Woo. Yep.
Which is a movie I had never seen. I believe you had seen it before?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I've seen it a few times. I think Judy introduced it to me and Davis. She and Davis really liked it when it first came out. Then I think we probably watched it together. And it's definitely one of those movies that kind of changed the way I look at life, and it's just really therapeutic, I think. So I think it was a good choice for this podcast.
Yeah.
So I will go ahead and recap. A boring photo processor, Walter Mitty, played by Ben Stiller, dreams about epic adventures because he's too scared and socially awkward to actually do anything. He's made fun of, ignored, and taken for granted. He stalks this girl he works with, Cheryl, played by Kristen Wiig, on eHarmony, but he has nothing interesting to put in his profile. He's supporting his mom and his deadbeat actress sister, a duty he took on at 17 after the death of his father. But then tragedy strikes. The company he works for, Life magazine, is being bought out and many people are losing their jobs. Walter's last job is to make the cover of the last hard copy of the magazine, a picture taken by the famous photographer Sean O'Connell, played by Sean Penn. But oops, Walter can't find it with the package that Sean sent him. Walter determines to track it down and goes out and actually has some amazing experiences of his own, slowly filling up his eHarmony profile with interesting things. He finally tracks down Sean after chasing clues, and he teaches him how to live in the moment of pure appreciation. It turns out Sean mailed him the photo already, but put it inside of a gift wallet meant for Walter, which has been since thrown away after a moment of discouragement. Luckily, his mother kept the wallet and returned it to him. He's able to challenge his ex-boss/nemesis, Adam Scott, return the photo, and save the day. The movie ends with the discovery that the photo was actually a picture of Walter at work as a tribute to the workers who made Life magazine possible. He and Cheryl hold hands and walk towards the camera for a bittersweet ending, demonstrating how much his confidence has grown. So, what did you think?
Well, I thought it was pretty good. When it started, I wasn't sure, and then I liked it a lot more as it went on, and by the time it ended, I'm like, yeah, I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. The only thing I knew going in was that it was about Ben Stiller, and it had a lot of, he was the main character, and it had a lot of fantastical type elements, but I didn't know anything about the story or anything like that. And the idea of him working at Life magazine, and they're going from print to digital, and like him trying to get the last negative photo, that was really great. I really thought that was a really great setup.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when he zones out and has his daydreams, that I understood that's what they were going for, but then they kept doing it over and over, and then I'm like, okay, well, it feels like a little bit much, but then it also makes the fantastical more of the second half, because it gets more serious. Because I was sitting down and being like, is he just imagining all this, or is it really happening? As it went on, I'm like, oh, okay. When the movie first started and he had a lot of his daydreams, it wasn't that it felt like too much, but it felt a little repetitive. It was more like, man, I wish he was actually doing all those things, saying to the guy, hey, Dumbledore can wear a beard, but you can't. And then they get into that weird movie fight, and that was really cool.
Yeah.
But then once the second half started chugging along and they got to the fantastical, him actually doing all these crazy things, it was really cool. I liked that.
Yeah.
You want to have a powerful moment in your movie, put in David Bowie music, because every movie I've seen that has a song, off the top of my head, there's Lost Highway, there's Labyrinth, obviously, but any movie where you want to have a significant emotional response, just put in David Bowie. Oh, Perks of Being a Wallflower, that was the one I couldn't think of.
Oh, yeah.
Stranger Things has his music sometimes. The scene when Walter gets in the helicopter, was really inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
I went back and watched that again. It's you go for it.
Just
and it made me think
do it.
about, yeah, just do it. And it made me think about things in my life that I want to do, and I'm like, man, I just want to like do that, not, you know what I mean.
Yeah, not jump into the helicopter and jump into the ocean, because screw that. A lot of the things he was doing, I was like, screw that. I would never do that. And it's free on Hulu to watch if you have Hulu. Where did you watch it?
I watched it on Amazon, because I don't have Hulu right now, because I missed their Black Friday deal.
Shoot.
I didn't know how to feel about him and Kristen Wiig. Her name was Cheryl in the movie, I think. Mm-hmm. I like how their like relationship progressed. For part of it, I was thinking, oh, he's gonna realize something about himself or about her, and they're not gonna get together, because they had a couple moments that I was like, okay, they're kind of showing that there could be some friction there. And then when the guy opens the door and then he has this moment where he just leaves, I'm like, okay, well, that's gonna be the end of that. And I was thinking it was more like, I guess, up in the air when he goes to see Alex, and a similar sort of thing happens. So I guess that's where my brain was, but then I liked how they had their last couple scenes together, and that was really sweet.
Okay. Yeah, it is a little bit strange, because I felt like the last few scenes, she was kind of apprehensive still. She was just like... Yeah. So, where the heck were you? And he's like, oh, I was doing all this stuff, and then he asks her out, and she's just kind of like, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. And it just seems weird. I don't know. But I like the beginning with them and meeting and their conversations and stuff. It's like supernatural.
Yeah.
Not supernatural, but like supernatural.
Supernatural, yes. Next week we're going to binge all of Supernatural, all like God. 15 seasons.
Never.
No, I've never seen it. That'll be fun.
I bet you would like, well, I don't know. It's like kind of the same thing as X-Files, only with monsters. Well,
I thought you were gonna say it's similar to Riverdale, and then that's why you had hesitancy.
Nah,
I don't even know if that's a
much
word.
Different than Riverdale.
Is that a word? I just made it up.
Hesitancy? Yeah.
If it's not a word, I made it up. If it is a word, then I'm gonna use it more.
'Tis a word.
Okay, good. The fight in the bar with the pilot, that was the first time when I'm like, wait, is he imagining this, or is this really happening? And then I'm like, oh, it's really happening. And then that made it really funny, because he almost gets he picks up the glass and he's gonna throw it on his eye, break his face with it or something. But then everything's cool and he just flies him to the ocean.
It's so amazing.
I love moments in movies like that when two characters start off in like one extreme and then by the next scene they're like on the opposite end. I just find that so funny.
I'm trying to think of another example of that.
Yeah, I was trying to too, and I couldn't.
Or I like when people just like have a fight and then 5 seconds later they're like totally fine and they have to like figure out something to do. That was in a podcast I recently listened to.
Wait, back up. So first of all, do you mean in movies or in real life?
Both.
And second of all, two people on a podcast like fought and then they were like cool. Like how did tell me more about that?
It was like a drama podcast, like a fictional radio show type drama podcast, and it had Cole Sprouse in it. It was like super good. It's called Baraska. If anyone likes those drama fiction podcasts, it was really, really good. But yeah, he and his friend had a big fight, but then they realized they had a bigger issue at hand and they had to come together and go do it. So yeah. Anyway, I like the way he has to build all of the clues together to find Sean.
Oh, yeah.
I like that when that happens in movies. Well, it usually... Yeah. Because I'm thinking of Paper Towns. I haven't seen the movie, but I read the book.
I'm on the flip side. I've seen the movie, haven't read the book.
Oh, okay. So you can tell me if it's similar, but in the book, it starts off, this guy is following all these clues that this girl left, and then that's like the first act, maybe, and then it just slows down, and then some stupid stuff happens, and then it never really resolves or something, I felt in the book. And I just really enjoyed the first part, and I wish that would, like, extend throughout the whole thing, but it didn't. So what was the movie like?
Well, I haven't seen the movie since, I want to say, like, sometime after it came out, within, like, 2015 or 16 or whatever. But I remember that being, because, like, then they're like, oh, we know where she is. We're going to go on a road trip. And then that's, like, it's more like a road trip movie for, like, the middle act. The only other scene I remember, too, is when they all spontaneously sing the theme song to Pokemon, and that's great.
Oh, man.
because they're
I don't
walking
think that
around
was in the book.
because they're walking around some like dark scary place, and they're like, do something that makes you happy, and then they just start singing it, and I'm like, that's great.
That's awesome. Okay, so this one, like, it does the clues for a while up until the point where he has to go back home from Iceland to New York. And then there was still, though, that one extra clue when he goes to his mom's house and he sees that one of the pictures was of his mom's piano. So that was kind of like the last clue. So I'm glad they kind of stretched it out a little bit farther into the rest of the movie. What did you think of all the Greenland and Iceland stuff?
I thought that was great. I love when he calls Cheryl and he says he's in Greenland, and then she's like, wait, you mean Iceland? And it's hilarious because Iceland and Greenland are the other way around, because, you know, like that was intentional. It was like some kind of like prank, and I just find that really funny. But with the fact that they kind of subtly reference it in the movie, that's great. When Walter's like flying to whichever, both the places, you see like a drone really high shot-ish of how Iceland looks and how Greenland looks, and it's just funny how, you know, one's really green and one's filled with ice, and I loved that. And then all of like the story stuff, like with the adventure of him finally seeing Sean and him having the skateboard and the bike and then just throwing the bike away and just running, and all of that, I really enjoyed that. Like the shots looked really good. I was really rooting for Walter at that point, so that was really enjoyable.
Yeah,
I liked the beginning of the movie, but for me, when it really picked up was when he gets to the bar and then the guy is singing "Don't You Want Me," and then they have their fight. Then David Bowie, and then he jumps in the ocean, and he's like, "I meant to jump for the smaller boat."
yeah.
And then there's an actual like shark.
Yeah,
like it's so
shark.
ridiculous. I love it.
Yeah, the beginning for me is definitely like, oh god, this is like the most cliche thing ever. It's every student film beginning. Like, I'm even guilty of making my student film like that. And
the effects look very student filmish.
Yeah, the whole story is like he's, you know, depressed. He's got his job. I think he likes his job though, so that's different. But he's trying to find love online at eHarmony, and he's too shy, and he doesn't do anything. Once he starts doing his adventure stuff, that's like hits the theme home again and again and again and again. Yeah. Throughout the entire thing, it kind of shoves it down your throat, but it's okay because it tastes good. That's
a great way to put it. I love that. I think his name's Todd, the one that keeps calling him from eHarmony. I love that they have like they talk during like once or twice during each act, and then at the end when you see him, it's like it's Patton Oswalt, and for a second I'm like, wait, who is that? And then during the credits I'm like, oh shit, that's who it was. That was great. I love that when they're sitting down and having Cinnabon, he's the one that gets him out of the airport prison. That was great. What was up with that X-ray scene though? That was odd. That was so weird. I'm like, what happened? Is this like some other like movie for 5 minutes? Like,
yeah, it was really weird and funny. I really liked that part.
Yeah, it was so strange. I was just so taken aback. Why did the movie change into like a completely different movie for a minute and a half?
Yeah, it like turns into animation. I wonder if it was animated or if it was really like an X-ray shot.
I wonder, yeah. There was one of the cast members in the credits was credited as like X-ray man, X-ray woman, or something like that.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I loved it when he rode the skateboard down the hill, and like how that was like something that was set up earlier a couple times, and then because I was just thinking, oh, it's gonna be how he bonds with Rich, Cheryl's son, but then you see him in these like sweeping shots from like this like 60s movies, like riding down the hill, like those big hills, and I'm like, that was so cool.
Yeah, that's a great scene. The music is really awesome too.
Yeah, the soundtrack again, it reminds me a lot of the Up in the Air soundtrack, and I really liked that. It was really good. I really liked the song that was in the beginning of the credits too.
Yes, that's one of my favorites. It gave me a new taste in music. I started listening to a bunch of all these like calm songs right after this movie, like Jose Gonzalez, I think is who does that last song, and you know, Iron and Wine and all that.
Yeah,
good stuff. That good relaxing stuff. Because at this time I was pretty into heavy metal.
I would not have guessed that.
I noticed that once I started listening to better, calmer music, it made me feel better. And, even though sometimes I still enjoy a good scream, but
Screforum.
Because this came out Screforum my senior year of high school, or I wonder what month it came out. It came out in 2013 though, so I had just graduated, or it was the fall of my freshman year of college, so something like that. That's when a lot of things started to change for me. Obviously, I went to college, I was away from my family, and it gave me hopes and dreams that had not been crushed yet, so it was a bright, shining future.
Yeah, so apparently this movie was based on a short story called The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Yes.
And then there was a movie version released in 1947, so this is technically a remake or a new adaptation.
I wonder what the 47 one's like.
Yeah, it's about the same length, which surprises me, because I thought it'd be like much shorter.
Is it called the same thing?
Yes, it's called the same thing.
Oh man, I want to watch that.
Yeah, I'm curious about it. Yeah, on IMDb, this has a 7.3 and the original has a 7 solid, so. It doesn't have actors I've heard of, though. It's Danny Kaye and Virginia Mayo. Oh, never mind. Boris Karloff is in it. He plays Dr. Hugo. I don't know who that is. Oh, it says he gets caught up in a conspiracy, so I wonder if it's like a totally different kind of movie.
Interesting.
Made in the 40s, so. The street that Cheryl lives on. I swear I've seen that street in like every movie set in New York.
Probably.
I don't know where I've seen it or what it's been in, but it's been in like every New York movie. It's that same exact street.
Yeah. It's I think it's like an area in Brooklyn.
Yeah, probably. I love the guy that calls him Home Slice on the boat, and then he has an Instagram. That guy was great.
Oh yeah, when they're eating his mom's cake.
Yeah. The part that weirded me out and kind of confused me was when he gets the skateboard from the kids, and then he gives him Stretch Armstrong as like a trade. One of the kids is like, "Hey, we can tie this around your sister," and I'm like, "What the hell does that mean? Is that like some weird like reference to something, or is that just them like saying they're gonna like prank her, or like what is it? I don't want to know what that means, but I didn't know what it means. I'm like that's weird and kind of creepy. I don't like it.
Who in their right mind would ever trade their $200 longboard for a stretchy arm guy from the 80s that's all like dirty and stuff? No kid would do that, but that's okay.
Nah.
Yeah, and then they're gonna tie it around his sister. Okay, have fun.
Yeah, I really liked this overall.
Back to the theme. Let me read just the motto that they have for their Life magazine that pops up everywhere throughout the whole movie, like probably 10 times. The Life magazine motto is, "To see the world, things dangerous to come to see behind walls, draw closer, to find each other, and to feel that is the purpose of life." So yeah, they just throw that in your face a bazillion times, and they throw it in the movie in interesting ways. Like it's just edited, composited onto the screen in different parts of the movie. I really like that about it, where they have cool editing stuff.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, like when he gets a text message once from his coworker, and it shows up on the mountain in the background of where he's standing in Iceland. So it's just interesting. It was different. So I had to look up Life magazine. I was like, is this a real thing? And it is. It came out weekly from 1883 to 1972, and then monthly until 2000. And now it's like comes out for special things, I think. But it was known for its photography, so it ties into the whole Sean O'Connell thing and having his iconic picture on the cover. And so I thought that was interesting that it's a real company. Yeah. Directed by Ben Stiller.
Yeah, that surprised me. I didn't know that going in. That was really cool to see that. The only other movie of his that's directed that I've seen is The Cable Guy with Jim Carrey and Matthew Broderick. Oh,
I don't think I've seen that.
Yeah.
Is it good?
See, I don't even really like remember, because I know I watched it like a few years ago, and I remember thinking, I don't know what I thought of it overall, because it's one of those movies where I'm like, is it good? I don't know. Do I like it? I don't know. I'm like right split down the middle. It's very funny at times, and then there's times where I'm like, I didn't think it was funny at all. Like it has like different sections that kind of fluctuate, I guess. The ending of the movie like did something based in satire about like TV, and I just sat back and I'm just like, wow, that's a really good, thought-provoking conclusion, and I really liked that. So I would recommend it, but I don't remember how I felt about it, honestly.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yeah, so that's just a movie about slowing down, being grateful. You don't need to travel the world because sometimes all you need, you already have within you.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say all you need is love, but that's good too.
Also that. Mostly shot in Iceland. It really inspired me to go to Iceland.
Oh,
Not
I didn't
that I
know
had.
that.
Yeah, there was only like maybe a couple things in Greenland, but I think it was mostly in Iceland. I got to go to Iceland in 2017.
Ooh.
It was
This is
amazing.
new information for me.
Oh, it was everything I ever dreamed. It was just like Walter Mitty. It's so beautiful, and I wanted to stay longer. We were only there for like 24 hours because we were flying on to Europe after that.
Mm-hmm.
Or the mainland of Europe. It was, oh man, so pretty. I want to go back very, very much. I don't know how Walter Mitty could be so calm when his mom gives him back his wallet, and also when he takes out the picture and then he doesn't look at it.
Yeah, yeah.
What? How did he do that?
It's a character arc.
I can't. And I remember Judy and I talking about that when we saw it. We're like, we would totally not be that cool. We would just
Flip it over.
Scream and run around and be like, oh my god, I'm on the cover of the magazine.
Yeah.
Mom, look.
I loved the line about at the very end when she's like, "Don't you want to buy one?" And then his response is basically like yeah, I do, but I didn't want to lose my cool exterior, so you know, I'll go back and buy one later.
Exactly.
So I liked that, but yeah, that would have been me too. Like he just takes the wallet just so calmly, like it would be like if somebody handed you like a $5 bill and said like, oh, go buy yourself something. It's like, okay, thanks, like, you know, you appreciate it, but you're very calm about it, you know. That's his response. But then if it was me, I'd be like, wait a minute, you didn't throw this away, that's awesome. Yeah.
I know.
And probably like swear a bunch and scream a bunch and be like,
I would probably cry.
Yeah.
So cool, Walter Mitty.
Yeah,
just all the shots and the traveling is very inspirational, and I wish
absolutely
that I could do that. I wish I could be Sean O'Connell and just sit around and hike up to these crazy places to go see this rare animal and then not even take a picture of it because it's just too cool.
I loved that. That was great. Yeah, that's the kind of thing I want to do. I want to do that, and then I want to like plant trees also, like do something for the environment.
Yeah, go plant some trees.
Maybe that's what I'll do for a living.
You could do that.
It's funny because I've said that before, and I feel like it's a recurring thing that I say, so maybe I'll actually do it. I don't know.
Okay. I didn't know you felt strongly about trees.
No, I love trees. I love trees. When I was a kid, I would climb trees all the time, and as an adult, I still would. They're living and breathing.
Yeah, I love trees. And well, I love plants, and I haven't climbed a tree in a long time.
All right, next time I see you, let's climb a tree.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, so I really liked this movie. I'm glad we watched it.
Good.
It was good.
Glad you liked it. Yes, it makes me feel good. I think I was just smiling the majority of the time.
Yeah.
It's just a feel-good movie for sure.
I don't know if I've said this or not, but I really love the line when he's just sitting in the elevator and he says to Adam Scott, you know, Dumbledore can grow a beard, but you can't. That made me laugh so hard. I'm like, I love that.
He does look really weird in a beard.
He does.
Well, but he has a beard in Big Little Lies and he looks good. So this must be like a weird fake beard that's like extra sculpted or something.
Yeah, I was just looking up seeing what else he's in because I knew I've seen him in something.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah. Oh, he's in Step Brothers also.
Oh.
I've never seen Parks and Rec.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I've heard good things about it. I just haven't watched it.
I think they just took it off Netflix. He's in quite a few things.
He's in When Harry Met Sally too, which I haven't seen.
What?
It's a 5-minute clip. It has the original. It has Billy Crystal in it. It's just like a spoof video. But it's called When Harry Met Sally too.
Oh, it's just a video?
Yeah.
Weird.
And then there's also Prime Suspect 2. That's like an actual movie. It's like 3.5 hours. Prime Suspect 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, there's 5, 6, 7, 8 Prime Suspect. I never even heard of Prime Suspect. It's like a British thing, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
A bunch of miniseries, but there's 8 of them. Seventh one's called The Final, and then they made an 8th one after it. Like, why do they do that? I don't get it.
Dumb.
Why do you do that? Don't call it The Final and then make another one. Like, that'd be like if Toy Story 3 was called The Final Movie and then they made a 4th one, which is kind of true, but at least they didn't put the word final in the title.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got way off track. I got way off track. Walter Mitty, yeah. Good, enjoyable, inspiring movie, great soundtrack. The acting was good, the editing was good. Yeah, when the beginning started, I think that's a great way to describe it. It just felt very student filmish, which we would both know because we both made student films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it felt very student filmish, and then as it continued, it became more up in the air-ish.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Penn, I don't know what role he had on the production of the movie, but there was a movie called Into the Wild, and it's really good. Oh, he directed it. I'm sorry, he directed it. It's a good movie. Some of this reminded me of that.
Oh, really? I have that book. I need to read it.
Yeah, who the actors that are in it? Vince Vaughn's in it. Kristen Stewart's in it. Yeah.
Okay.
William Hurt is in it. Did you ever see that movie Underwater from
I don't think so.
When did it come out? Yeah, it came out last year, the beginning of the year, so it was before movies shut down.
What is it?
It's some horror movie with Kristen Stewart in it.
Oh, I probably wanted to see it.
Yeah, I remember it looking kind of intriguing, and then I just didn't see it. Oh, so it's the last movie to be released under 20th Century Fox, before they changed it. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, did you watch anything else this week?
The only thing I watched was some X-Files episodes.
Oh yeah.
I'm considering just watching not the whole series, but some of it, just go through and watch some of it in order. So I just watched a few episodes. I watched random episodes from the first season, and I'm yeah, I kind of want to keep watching this. So maybe I'll do that.
I watched Malibu's Most Wanted, and it was absolutely ridiculous.
What's it about?
It's about this rich white guy who lives in Malibu, but he thinks he's from the ghetto and a thug and from the streets, and just is he basically is pretending to be black, but he's not. And so his dad is running for a political position, and so he hires these two guys to teach him not to be black anymore because they want to scare him to be white, basically. And so they hire these two black guys who are not from the streets, not from the ghetto. They are totally straight people, and so they have to figure out how they have to pretend to be ghetto, and then they try to convince the white guy to not be black, and they just realize that that's just the way the white guy is, he's not trying to impress anyone or do anything. He's just I don't know, that's just the way he is. It's so weird.
Stunning.
It was really funny.
It almost sounds like the inverse of the movie White Chicks.
Yeah, it is.
Which is also a terribly ridiculous movie.
Yeah.
Oh god, one time my sister and I watched that, and I think by the end of it we were both brain dead. We had both lost our minds. There's a solid minute of editing in that movie where I had no idea what was happening. It's supposed to be some kind of fight scene. And I'm this is Liam Neeson taking 19 cuts to jump over a fence, but
oh my gosh, yes.
Might even be worse, because at least then I could tell what was happening. This I can't. That was great, watching that day and going in slow motion to count all the cuts.
That was awesome.
What is our prescription for next week?
Yes, 8 years ago, I was in a different state of mind. I tweeted, "Oh, it won an Oscar? Must be boring as hell."
Tweeted what movie was it?
Nothing. I was just that was what was on my mind. If it has won an Oscar, it's probably super boring.
In a lot of cases, that's true. Not gonna lie. But there is another Home Alone being filmed now, and they have Macaulay Culkin as Kevin in a cameo. Apparently.
No.
So, yeah. Let's see. The director... No. Let's see. What else did he direct? He directed Dirty Grandpa and I Give It a Year. He was a writer and executive producer on the first Borat, Bruno, and he also wrote Office Christmas Party and Bridget Jones's Baby. Is that what the movie's called? I thought it was called...
It's a third one. It was Bridget Jones's Diary, Bridget Jones's Diary 2, and then Bridget Jones's Baby or something
okay,
like that.
Yeah, because for a second I'm wait, is that a sequel? Because I'm I know it's Bridget Jones's Diary, but...
Yeah.
Who knows? Also, Keenan's going to be in it, so...
Oh, awesome.
I'll watch it for those two people, for Macaulay Culkin and Keenan, but mostly for Macaulay Culkin. If Kevin gets to eat his mac and cheese in that movie, then it'll be the best movie of whatever year it comes out. Real question is, can they get Joe Pesci and Daniel Stern?
Oh, God. Joe Pesci will be dead.
I'm not saying they have to go through the whole Home Alone like scenario, but I'm saying just having them be in a cameo, like like having one of the classic lines, like, "Hey, nice house, but there's no bathroom in it." So technically, if Macaulay Culkin as Kevin is in it, this is like the real Home Alone 3, even though Home Alone 3 is like actually not that bad. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that until because if he's in it for like 5 seconds, that's gonna like make me mad. But like if he has like a significant role, that'd be cool. I always just wondered why they didn't just do that, like just make it him, and then his kids are like the ones that get left home alone, and then it's like The Force Awakens, but it's Home Alone, and then it's going to have an extremely divisive sequel, and then a very disappointing third movie.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, that's never seen that pattern before. So next week your prescription is Blue Velvet, so go home and watch that. Just be advised, it's a very dark and kind of triggering movie, so if that's not for you, then and we'll put in a disclaimer before the episode. But Kyle MacLachlan, Laura Dern. That.
Yeah, we've both seen it before, so we are going to be excited to talk about it with you next week. Hope everyone is staying safe, healthy, and mindful.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Go watch some movies.
10 out of 10.
We love you. Thank you. Oh, and if you want to follow us on Instagram, it's @filmtherapypodcast. And if you want to email us for any reason, if you need some advice, if you want to request a movie, it's filmtherapypodcast@gmail.com.
And we also have a YouTube channel called Film Therapy Podcast. If you want to go subscribe to that. The uploading schedule isn't as airtight as our other upload schedules, but, if you want to subscribe and help us out, that'd be great. Yeah. That's the only place right now where you can see the exclusive YouTube thumbnails for each episode. So go check those out.
Very cool. Yes. And yeah, if you want to take a second to rate and review us on either Spotify or at least download the episode, the downloads help us. And even if you have unlimited data or whatever, it'd be great if you could download. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much. Thanks for listening. Go out and live your life like Walter Mitty. 25.